Nintendo Switch 2 game keycards continue to be deeply unpopular, and low-key, I'm here for it. And as per usual, I always include chapters in my videos, so if you don't want to hear this next part, feel free to skip ahead, but for those of you who don't know, let's go over what exactly is a game keycard. The Nintendo Switch 2 game keycard was introduced at the exact same time as the Nintendo Switch 2, and it was supposed to be an alternative version for Nintendo and publishers for the Nintendo Switch 2 to develop and send out their games without having to buy full cartridges. And the thing with this game keycard situation is that at first it did propose some advantages for the consumer, because realistically people like me, I could buy a game and I'm still allowed to borrow the game to someone, and I'm also able to resell it compared to a digital game that I just download to my Switch 2. I can't really borrow that. Well, I mean, we can now, but I certainly can't sell it. But then people quickly realize these things are not even a fraction as practical as they might seem, because yes, I can borrow you a game, but it's not like it's just plug and play, because even if I give you the game, you're gonna have to download it. And yeah, physical games also sometimes require game day one updates or patches, but that's just an update or a patch. You're not downloading the whole game. But at the end of the day, people just can't get over the fact that the game keycards are exactly like the card my uncle gave me for my birthday. Empty. And I mean, he didn't even sign it. I think it's just safe to say people in general are not sold on the idea. And factors against game keycards are starting to build up already, and they're not even that old. Right out the gate, third-party games are not selling well on the Nintendo Switch 2, or at least not as some people were expecting. And this could be considered for two reasons. First of all, people are buying the Switch to play either Donkey Kong Bonanza or Mario Kart World. Those are the two games people are buying Switch 2s for at the moment. And odds are, if they go out and spend all their money on the Switch 2, they don't have money for 100 games as well, right out the gate. Maybe they'll buy them later. Or maybe third-party games are not selling well because most third-party games are exclusively game keycards. There's actually just a very small handful of companies that are selling full games on cartridges. The only three games that come to mind is Cyberpunk, Rune Factory, I think it's Rune Factory at least, and Yuka plus Replayly, whatever it's called. As I kind of mentioned before, it's kind of hard to tell if there's any correlation between these two things, except there are. If you look at every game that is sold for the Nintendo Switch 2 physically at the moment, and you put aside the Nintendo first-party games, the games that are consistently the best sellers are Cyberpunk and Rune Factory. In almost every single retailer that announced their sales, those are the two games that are selling. It's not to say that every other game is selling none, but it's especially these two games that are selling the most. And I wonder why. There was even a report where an undisclosed developer went on the record to say that their game has been selling below their lowest expectations on Switch 2 so far. That's how bad the situation is. And then recently, there was another ding against these game keycards, where the National Diet Library, which is like an archive in Japan, announces that they will not be preserving game keycards. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what this archive group was before this, they announced this. And I don't think it matters, because I don't think it's that much of a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's just yet another group saying, they can't protect these game keycards because they are not protecting anything. It would be like trying to protect a coupon. And I'm going to tell you exactly why people don't like these game keycards. But first, a short message. If this is your first time here, hey, my name's Acadrien, and I post weekly Nintendo videos just like this. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, I would greatly appreciate it if you would simply consider to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's go right back into the video. On paper, the concept is actually phenomenal, because as I mentioned before, games this generation are getting bigger and bigger. But with the game keycards, developers can actually save a lot of money while shipping out their games. And, they still get to ship out games, so physical collectors such as we can still go out and buy games physically. But somehow, in a stroke of genius, Nintendo created a product that is the definition of the worst of all worlds. Because, okay, yeah, sure, game developers can ship out their games cheaper. but just because they ship them out cheaper doesn't mean they're actually passing on at least some of those savings to the consumers. Instead, they sell the games usually, the full price that you would find on other consoles. So they sell us empty cartridges with a coupon inside. If you look at a digital gamer, they would be the ones that are like the least concerned about this being just a code in a box, because they enjoy their digital games anyways. Except I can't see a digital gamer enjoying a game keycard either, because the whole point of a digital game is you don't have to get up to switch up your game. You can just go to your home screen and swap games, and you can't do that because you still need the physical game key to be swapped in and out if you want to change games. So digital gamers aren't going to like them either. And then at the end of the day, it's like I said, physical collectors typically don't even like these game key cards either, because there's nothing on the cartridge. And here's the thing. Nintendo also knows that people are not enjoying these game key cards because they did come out with a survey to see how people are feeling, and I have a sneaking suspicion that they probably didn't hear what they wanted to hear. Yet you will never see the actual responses, but I just have a sneaking suspicion. And I know that me personally, I'm a firm believer in voting with your wallet, because at the end of the day, Nintendo is another big company, and what do companies care about? Your money. So if you look at my collection of Switch 2 games, I only have the two big ones, of course. And it's not that I don't want to support third parties, but until they come out with full games on cartridges, I'm not going to be buying them. I did consider buying Cyberpunk, but I have a PS5 and I think I prefer playing it on that anyways. But I know I am also almost done with Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I am considering buying Yuka Replayly. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to hear from you. Has your opinion changed at all on game key cards? Let me know down in the comments below. I would once again like to thank you for watching the video all the way to the end, and if you did enjoy this video, why not check out another one? For whatever reason, YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this one, so try checking out that one next. And until next time, Wadao.